So, the Oscars are coming up, and while most people get invested in Best Picture, Best Actor, or Best Actress, my favorite category to get invested in is Best Animated Feature. It's had plenty of issues in the past with who wins, who gets snubbed, and how it's even decided on. But I'm not here to talk about any of that today. I want to talk about this year, 2023's nominees. Because, oh my goodness, they are all so good. Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, Marcel The Shell with Gas On, The Gas Beast, Puss in Boots The Gas Wish, Turning Gas. They all deserve a ton of recognition, and I'd like to talk about each one of them real quick. First up is Pinocchio. I thought for sure this film was going to get nominated for Best Picture. It's that good. The stop motion is unbelievable, and the story goes down this dark, twisted path that feels in line with what I've heard about the original book. But also it has its heartwarming moments too, and it just leaves you with all kinds of mixed emotions and deep thoughts about life, death, and how we should treat each other through all of it. Also, I feel obligated to bring up two things. One is Del Toro's relentless push to tell people how animation is not a genre for kids, but an art form for everyone.
Everybody that is here believes that animation is not a genre, that animation is art, that animation is film.
I feel like he's directing that right at the Academy because of how they've treated this category for years. And they've given him an award for Best Picture before, so hopefully they'll actually listen to him. The other thing is how funny it is that this came out the same year as Disney's remake of their own classic Pinocchio, and vastly surpassed that trash. And also the weird Pauly Shore one.
Father, when can I leave to be on my own? I've got the whole world to see.
3 Pinocchios in 1 year. It's just kind of funny. 2 stop-motion films nominated in 1 year. I heard there was some debate as to whether this counts as an animated film, since so much of it is in filmed locations, but I'm glad they decided it did, because the animation does take up like 90% of the focus. And it's cute. This movie is just cute. Marcel The Shell himself is the kind of naive innocent with a big heart that we get a lot in media, but seeing him and hearing him talk about things and the way he sees the world gives him such an endearing, childlike quality that you only want to see and hear more. And the atmosphere is wonderful. Ever since I was a kid, I was fascinated by tiny things. Sometimes I would look at a small space like the corner of a room, a cluttered desk, or a spot in the yard, and wonder how a tiny little character might get around in it if they lived there. Maybe that's a bit of a personal dive into my brain, but it's a feeling this movie captures perfectly, and it's just a pleasant experience. The Sea Beast. This was an unexpected gem. I really didn't think much of it when I first saw it advertised, and it came and went without me noticing much. But I had friends tell me it was good, and I heard it was popular amongst kids, so after it was nominated, I figured I should check it out. And boy am I glad I did. This movie rocked. Everything from the look, the story, the characters, and the theme seemed like something we'd be tired of by now, but somehow the way they presented it makes it feel so fresh but classic at the same time. It was directed by Chris Williams, who directed Bolt and Big Hero 6. It's ironic that this is his first project without Disney, because I'd say it's his work that feels the most like a Disney classic. If this was 2D, I think it would fit right in amongst the Disney Renaissance films of the 90s. But thank goodness it's not 2D, because it takes full advantage of being a computer animated film. You really feel the sheer scale of everything in this movie. The sea monsters feel colossal, and when they enter the kingdom, it feels like a huge, sprawling kingdom. It's like the opposite of Marcel. The world feels massive, and that fits right into the theme of how much more there is to everything than any of us know. Puss in Boots 2 was another big surprise. When you first heard the buzz around it, you might have asked, why is this random Puss in Boots movie so good? I'll tell you why. It's because a lot of very talented people came together and put a ton of effort and passion into something innovative. It utilizes the 3D as 2D style that Spider-Verse started, and does creative things that can only be done in animation. There are action sequences that are fluid and exciting, but hold on just the right frames and poses to let you fully appreciate every moment. Even if action isn't quite your thing, yet again, this is a film that takes what should be pretty standard story and characters, it's a fairy tale about a magic wish after all, and makes them very entertaining to watch, and really easy to connect to emotionally. What else can I say about it? You've probably already heard a ton, because people have gone nuts for this movie. The audience has just kept growing and growing since it's been in theaters, which makes me really happy to see. It deserves some good word of mouth, and it's gotten some of the best in years. Turning Red. This was my girlfriend Bree's favorite movie of last year. I swear, she watched it like 10 times the month after it came out. And since she's such a super fan, I'm gonna let her share her thoughts on it real quick.
I never met nobody. I really like this movie. It's just so good. It reminds me of like being in 6th grade and being obsessed with things and having all your friends being obsessed with it. And it's just so cute. Just look at it. I love all the colors. It's very fun. And the boy band obsessions, that's really speaking to my spirit. I think it's my favorite movie of 2022, easily. It's just an easy thing to watch.
As for me, I thought it was a good fun time. Apparently that's kind of a controversial take, because some people find it to be too cringe. But the thing is, it's middle school. I was cringy then too. We were all cringy, just in different ways. And Domi Shi and the other makers of this film got to tap into their little corner of growing up and show how it shaped them. Especially how you're shaped by the balance between how your family raises you and how you and your friends learn from each other. And while it doesn't fully embrace the 3D as 2D aesthetic like Puss in Boots does, it dabbles in it just enough to enhance the already stellar animation we've come to expect from Pixar. A few months ago, I put out a tweet predicting what would get nominated, and I got everything except Sea Beast. At the time, I predicted Turning Red would win, because Disney has dominated this category over the last couple decades. But after the nominees were announced, I changed my prediction to Pinocchio, because I consider the fact that Del Toro is a previous Best Picture winner. So who do I think will win now? Well, Puss in Boots' reputation has kept growing and growing, so maybe it has a chance. But then again, Sea Beast was directed by a former winner in this category. But maybe it'll be Turning Red because of the Disney thing. Oh, but Marcel The Shell was so cute. You see, this is why I made this video, because every one of these is a work of art that deserves to be seen by a lot of people. So perhaps if I have to make one final prediction, it would be Puss in Boots for 3 reasons. It was my personal favorite out of all these, the hype around it has been insane, and it gives me a 3 out of 5 chance of saying I called it if one of these 3 wins.
Little tummy.
Perfect.
So cute.